Hello, friends. My name is David Trotter. I'm a launch coach and the host of the Inspiration Rising podcast, where we are dedicated to inspiring women and the men who support them to continually rise up in your life, love, and leadership. Now, today, I want to talk to you about that thing in your life that you've been wanting to do, but been holding off for some reason. Maybe you've been procrastinating or just waiting for things to kind of fall into place. You've been holding off for whatever reason. I am coming to you today to tell you now is the time. Now is the time. What are you waiting for? That's my question. Now is the time. What are you waiting for? There is something inside of you that you have been wanting to do, maybe for years, maybe for just a few weeks, but something has been rising up, bubbling up inside of you, and you're going, yeah, I really would like to do that. And there's something that's holding you back. Let's think for a minute about some of those things that you may be wanting to do, but you've been holding back for some reason. Maybe it's getting healthy, maybe losing some weight, maybe getting into a health regimen, maybe feeling more healthy in your skin. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's finding a new job. You're in one, you feel like kind of stuck, like it's a dead end, but you're a little nervous about pursuing a new one. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's rekindling your relationship with your husband, your partner, your spouse. You're feeling like, I'd really like to do something. We're kind of feeling like things are getting a little stale, and maybe that's it. Or maybe you're wanting to do something that feels a little frivolous. Maybe you want to take a class on something that would open your creativity and your creative ideas. Maybe it's something on sewing or creating clothing, or maybe it's flowers, or some sort of painting, whatever it might be. Maybe that's what's been kind of bubbling up inside of you. Or maybe I know this kind of sounds crazy, but maybe you've been just having this desire inside of you to make an outward change, changing up your hairstyle, changing up your nails, changing up your clothes to a different style. Maybe that's been something that's going on inside of you, but you've been holding off. And I want to tell you that now is the time. And I want to ask you, what are you waiting for? Now, you've heard the saying before, one day or day one, you decide. It'll either happen one day off in the future. We could say that procrastinating, that this thing inside of us it'll happen one day. Or today can be day one of the process of pursuing what's going on deep down inside of you. And I want today to be day one for you. Now, as I've worked for people over 25 years and working with coaching people in our Launch Your Life online course, I have found that there are three main things that we wait for before we take action. I'm going to say them real quick, and then I'm going to break each one of them down. All right. The first thing is that we wait until things are just right. Number two, we wait for someone else's permission. And then number three, we wait until we have everything figured out. Okay. We wait until things are just right. We wait for somebody else's permission, and we wait until we have all the next steps figured out. So the first one, we wait until everything feels just right or is just right. Oftentimes this is a nebulous thing. I'll ask somebody, I go, well, why don't you take a next step? What if we worked on taking that next step toward building this business, toward taking this step toward health, toward reconciling with your spouse, toward moving toward whatever it is? And they'll go, you know what? I need to just wait until things are just right. Things just aren't right yet. Well, what does it look like? That's my next question. What does it look like for things to be just right? And 9 times out of 10, they can't tell me. I have to press them to go, what does just right mean? Well, it probably would mean I'd have to weigh this amount of, weight, or I'd have to be in this dress size before I would go to my high school reunion. Or I'd have to have this a big of a plot of land before I could plant this garden that I want. Or until my husband is ready, then right. And it's all these things that have to occur, this whole collision of events that have to come to fruition in order for things to be just right. We wait until things are just right. Oftentimes, I'm going to break it to you, things are never just right. Number two, we wait until for somebody else's permission. We wait for somebody else's permission. Oftentimes, we're waiting for either our partner's permission. They may not even know that we're waiting for it. We may not even have gone to them and said, hey, here's what we want to do. But we think, well, they're never going to say yes. They're never going to be on board. They're never going to be at peace with this. They're not that you have to wait for your partner's permission. I know some, we want to be partners. We want to be on the same page. But some of us are just waiting around for our partners to give us permission to do something. Or maybe it's a child. You're waiting for your child to give you permission to do something. Maybe it's even your parents. Maybe your parents have even passed away, but you're in your mind waiting for that voice inside of your head to give you permission to take your next step. The third way that we oftentimes wait, reason why we wait to take that next step, is we wait for us to figure everything out, figure out all the next steps. We've got to be able to see the whole process from beginning to middle to the end, right? Well, what if you started a side hustle and you were creating these items and you sold them on Etsy? I don't even know why would somebody would buy. I don't know how to do Etsy. I don't know like how to do shipping. I don't know how to calculate. Well, okay. So if you don't have everything figured out, you're just going to wait. Oftentimes it's an excuse. It's an excuse of procrastination out of fear of moving forward. We say that I've got to have everything figured out. We say that in our brains, and it's an excuse because we're just afraid. We're nervous. We're anxious. So if our excuses are we have to have everything just right, we wait until things are just right. I'm going to tell you that an I am statement that is very strong is that I have all the resources I need to get started right now. Instead of waiting until everything's just right, what if you said to yourself, I have access to all the resources I need in order to get started right now. I'm not saying you have access to all the resources to finish the project, whatever it is you want to do, but I'm going to tell you, if you call me, text me, email me, my number is right out there, right? I will help you determine how to take that next step because there's always a next step. You always have the resources you need to take that next step. It could be as simple as getting a piece of paper and a pen or pencil and writing out a plan of action. It could be getting together with a friend and brainstorming some next steps. If you're watching this on your phone, iPad, desktop, laptop, whatever it is, that tells me you have access to the internet. Well, if you've got access to the internet, that means that anything that you need to learn is pretty much available to you free of charge. It's right there. It's available to you. So say it with me. I have access to all the resources I need to get started. Say it. I have access to all the resources I need to get started. Yes, you do. I believe it. Yes, you do. The second thing is we wait for other people's permission, somebody else's permission. We're waiting around. And I'm going to tell you the I am statement that helps me move forward is that I am giving myself permission. I'm giving myself permission. I don't need anybody's permission to write a book, start a business, make a film, launch a product online. I don't need anybody's permission to get healthy. I don't need anybody's permission to go back to school. I have my own volition. That doesn't mean don't want to check with the people I have in my life to see how it might impact them. Doesn't mean I want to get my partner on board. It doesn't mean that I want other friends or family to be excited about what I'm doing. But oftentimes, if there are naysayers, if they're holding me back for some reason, I've got to realize I don't need anybody else's permission to do whatever it is that's bubbling up inside of me. I can take steps forward to get started right now. The third reason we talked about of waiting to get started is that we wait until we have all of our next steps figured out. And I'm going to tell you the I am statement that helps me is that I can figure things out along the way. Say it with me. I can figure things out along the way. Yes, you can. You can figure things out. Everything is figure outable. There's always a solution. I tell my kids, there's always a solution. You can always figure things out. Now, I'm not saying go in a bunch of debt to start some business when you don't know what you're doing. I'm not saying that. Okay. I'm saying that you can figure things out, whatever it is that you want to pursue along the way. If you feel like you've got to have everything figured out from beginning, middle, and end, you'll never get started. You'll never get started. And I'm telling you that you can figure things out along the way. All right. So let's revisit these I am statements. I have access to all the resources I need to get started right now. I am giving myself permission. Yes. And things, I can figure things out along the way. Yes, you can. All of those things are true. So whatever it is that's going on inside of your mind, inside of your heart that you've been wanting to do in your life, I'm telling you today, now is the time. Now is the time to get started. You have one life. You have one life. You have a limited number of days on this earth. The older I get, the more aware of that I become. And I'm telling you that now is the time. What are you waiting for? You have access to all the resources you need to get started today. You can give yourself permission and you can figure things out along the way. Now, I will tell you, as I have done this in my own life, whether it's starting businesses, writing books, creating films, all those things, that what has helped me tremendously is having a coach in my life, someone who could come alongside of me and who has been down this road before, who could nurture and show me tricks and tactics that could help me move forward even faster. So I would encourage you to seek out a coach in your life, somebody that can help you. That coach doesn't have to be in person. It could be through books. It could be through online courses. It could be in person for sure. The other thing that's helped me is a strategic plan, that I don't wing it. I don't just wing things and kind of move forward. I set a path. I can't figure things out from beginning to end, but I can figure out the first few steps. And getting help developing those first few steps in your life can really save you a lot of time and energy and money. And the other thing that has helped me tremendously as I've done a lot of different projects in my life is have a community of people around me that nurture me and encourage me and help me to not feel alone on the journey of pursuing whatever it is that I want to pursue. So today, I do want to let you know you can do this. Now is the time. There's something in your life that you've been wanting to take that next step on, and there's no reason you should be waiting. You have access to all the resources you need to get started today. You're giving yourself permission and you'll figure it out along the way.